Well, welcome back. Back in the shed. Project SR250 is a go again. It's now Saturday. I got the frame back from the powder coaters, and I've cleared out the shed to give myself a bit of room. So now the rebuild kind of begins. I've got the frame here. I'll give you a little look-see. There we go, back from the powder coaters, satin black in the end, yeah, it's turned out very nicely. There's a few kind of minor bits where I maybe didn't dress where the welds were quite as well as I could have done, but do you know what, I mean, overall I never wanted it to be like a show bike look. And on the budget it's not going to be, so you know, things like that I'm not too bothered about. I'm just happy overall with the sort of finish on it. I think it looks really nice, but the most exciting thing is really that it means we're all ready to go to start building it all back up again. My first job today is going to be the putting the races in for the steering head bearings. So I've just got this one sat on here. I've just given it a slight tap with a hammer just to seat it. Then what I'm going to do is just get a big socket that covers over that and gently tap that down into place, and do the same for the underside. So that way we're ready just to drop the forks in at the top. Ignore the springs on there. I was just messing around a while back just to see what it would look like. Then I could move them up there. They just look kind of a bit funky. But the gaiters will be going on back on there anyway. But yeah, we've already got well, that one, that's the bottom race, that's the bearing that we put on the steering stem way back when. So I'll get those re-greased up and pop these bad boys in, and then I think probably get the frame and the engine reunited as one. Cool, so I'll get stuck into that. There you go. So that's the races seated in there, and you can hear like when it kind of changes from just banging on the socket to a bit more of a shrill ring. The metal's seated on the lip then. So I'm just going to give it one more tap all the way around just to make sure. And they're in. Cool. Right then, excuse the noise, I've had to put the heater on. It's getting a bit chilly in here, so I'm just going to leave it on for a bit to warm up. But races are in, so we are pretty much ready to put the frame on the engine, or the engine in the frame, whichever way you want to go. So it's pretty chocked up, feels secure. I've got the all the engine plates and mounting brackets and whatnot ready to go. So I've got my box of bolts, which I had soaking in oil since I stripped them down. Little battery box there as well. That's all the red one that was powder coated, ready to go. Yeah, I guess it's just time to stick it in there. So I am going to put the camera down for this. one-handed as usual, and this one wants two hands, and I really don't want to scratch any of the paint on the engine or the powder coat on the frame, so join me back when I've got it on. So frame and engine reunited as one again. Pretty easy to get this one on. It's not as fiddly as putting the engine in some bikes I've had. So it's just, yeah, it all just mounts off the engine itself, just at the top there. Down the bottom there's a bracket, and then this bracket here at the front. So that's all in. Battery box I've put in as well. So there we go. We've got the basics of the building blocks of the bike there. So it's yeah, it's kind of exciting, really. You know, this is the bit where we can, you know, really get stuck in and start to see what it's going to look like. A slight minor issue that I've just kind of discovered. I had to stop myself. I was getting a bit far ahead before I started filming, and I was going to put the front yokes or triple trees, just get all the sort of steering. Flipping out, I'm having a brain space. Get all the steering bit at the front that's sorted, and I've got a feeling I've got the wrong bearings, or they've sent me the wrong bearings. So it's way back when I ordered them. I was a little concerned when I put this race in that it was seemed a bit high from where it tapped into the lip, but then it has this kind of cup that sits over the top of it as well. So I was like, oh, okay, so that kind of works. And as these are tapered bearings, as opposed to the loose ball bearings that this originally had with it, but the races seem to go on. I put the bearings on. Now these you can't really mix up because only that one will go on the bottom yoke, and that's gone in fine. But when you put the whole assembly up through the steering column and that bearing on top, you can't get enough clearance through to get the cup and then get the adjusting nut on. There's not enough thread. So it's almost as if the top bearing is too thick, and it's all driven home fine. So yeah, that's kind of really frustrating, really, because that's going to mean I'm going to have to, if they're completely the wrong set, then I'm going to have to take that bearing off there, tap out the races and all the rest of it. But yeah, that's something I can't be bothered dealing with tonight. I'll work that out tomorrow. I'm going to have a quick look at the swing arm now, see if I can put that in without too much grief. The trouble is, because it's been quite a few months since everything got disassembled, you've got to try and remember how it all goes back together again, because I'm not really working with any Haynes manual or anything, and try and remember if there was any bits that need refurbishing, or, you know, I tried to do all the major ones as I went along, but there's always the odd little sort of thing you've forgotten. But let's have a look at the what we've got, at least for the swing arm. So swing arm, obviously. Then we've got each swing arm in each side here. We've got like a little kind of, well, that'll need cleaning up, kind of bush that goes through, and then these plastic sort of cups that go in each end, and then just the bolt that goes through the whole lot that it pivots on. So quite a simple setup. There's no actual sort of bearings in this swing arm, as far as I can tell, or there weren't any when I took it apart. So there we go. But I'm going to lay out all these bits and re-familiarise myself with where they go, and then have a stab at reassembling that. But it is getting a bit late now. I want to get this video up tonight, but we'll see. Let's have a look, see how we go. Okay, so I've got all the bits of the swing arm, cleaned them all up, ready to reinstall. Had a quick little look at the microfiche, and it's a little confusing. I don't know how much they changed over the years, these bikes, and how much the SR250, the American version, was called the Exciter. I'm not really sure how much these sort of things changed over the years, but the parts that I've got that I've taken off vary slightly from my microfiche. So I've got here, so you've got the swing arm, and on the right hand side you have this bush that sits inside there, and that is held in with these caps on each side. And then you get one of these on each side of that. On this side, same principle, the bush in the middle, that cap holds it in. That one on the inside face only. You've got then this little rubber seal which sits in here, and then that goes through the whole lot. You've got your washer and your nut there. On the microfiche, it's the same sort of thing, except you've got, coming in, you've got that cap there, but then we've got this washer here which we haven't got, that we have got, that we have got, swing arm we have got, that cap, that end we've got, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that must be the seal. And then it's a slightly different arrangement. This looks like some sort of locking tab. If you can see here, there's a small screw there that goes in and there. And if you look on here, on this side, you can see where maybe that must have fitted in. But that's not threaded. So I'm guessing it's just a case of poking it through, and that'll do the job, greasing it up. It's always a little bit worrying when there's more bits on a microfiche, but I can't see why they would have changed it. But then again, that is exactly what came off this bike. So I'm just going to, obviously I'll grease it all up, pop all the bits back in, and just have a little look and see if that feels right, I guess. But I might not do that tonight. I'm going to call it a night now because I've still got to get in and edit all these bits up and upload it. So I want to get a video up tonight, and then it will give me something to crack on with tomorrow anyway. So yeah, I'll wrap it up on this one. Next video we'll see if the swing arm works, and yeah, it's all going good. All going good. I'm yeah, bit knocked about the bearings, but I'll have a look at that with fresh eyes. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. We're back on track, and I'll catch you at the next one.